The story begins in a high-security prison in Colorado, where a man named Ray Breslin is being held. One day, another inmate warns him to stay away from a prisoner named Jack, because Jack is planning to start trouble with him. The very next day, Jack follows through with his plan and challenges Ray. However, he is no match for Ray, and after a brief fight, Ray comes out on top. Because of this incident, the prison guards punish Ray by transferring him to an isolated cell. This was the section of the prison where the most dangerous inmates were kept under constant confinement. The new cell had no windows at all. It only contained a toilet, and surveillance cameras monitored Ray around the clock. Ray immediately starts thinking about how he can escape. He carefully studies the entire prison and notices that there is a garage connected to the facility. Since the number of guards is limited, he spends the next few days quietly observing their daily routine. Eventually, he discovers that every day the guards leave their posts for exactly 7 minutes to take a cigarette break. Now, the only thing left was figuring out the access code for his cell door. To do that, Ray secretly removes a thin plastic layer from the milk container served with his meals and places it over the keypad. This clever trick helps him reveal the keypad's number pattern. Arranging the code correctly isn't difficult after that. At the same time, Ray secretly sends a message to his team outside. He tells them that on the day of his escape, they must create a distraction by starting a fire near the garage at exactly 4 p.m. Finally, the day arrives. Ray enters the access code, unlocks his cell, and quietly makes his way through the maintenance pipes toward the garage. Right on schedule, his team creates a massive distraction outside, drawing everyone's attention. Firefighters soon arrive at the prison, and Ray secretly hides underneath one of the fire trucks, allowing him to escape unnoticed. After leaving the prison, his team picks him up, but they later drop him off on an empty road. Soon after, the police catch him. Just then, a man named Lester Clark arrives and tells the officers to release Ray. Lester then takes Ray to meet the prison's management, where a surprising truth is revealed. Ray isn't a criminal at all. He actually owns a security consulting company that tests prison security systems around the world. He voluntarily enters prisons as an inmate to identify security weaknesses so they can be improved. Ray has successfully escaped from so many prisons that people have started believing he can break out of almost any prison on Earth. 5 months later, Ray returns to his office, where he entertains his colleagues by easily solving what seems like an impossible puzzle. Soon afterward, Lester introduces Ray to a woman named Jessica. She offers him a multi-million-dollar contract to inspect the security of the world's most secret and highly protected prison. However, there is one condition. Neither Ray nor his team will be given any information about the prison's location. Although the offer seems suspicious, Lester convinces Ray to accept the mission. To maintain his cover, Ray is given the identity of a wanted international criminal, and a tracking device is placed in his arm. However, before the operation begins, unknown people capture him, knock him unconscious, and carefully remove the tracker from his arm. This ensures that no one can locate the prison once he is taken there. When Ray finally regains consciousness, he finds himself locked inside a transparent glass holding cell, surrounded by several unfamiliar inmates. Soon, he meets the prison's warden, Hobbs, but Ray immediately notices something strange. He had been told that the warden's name would be Marsh, not Hobbs. Realizing that something is wrong, Ray speaks a special emergency code phrase that should trigger his extraction from the mission. However, Hobbs completely ignores him and orders the guards to transfer him deeper into the prison. Meanwhile, outside the facility, Lester and Ray's trusted associates desperately try to figure out where he has disappeared. Inside the prison, Ray notices that every guard wears identical uniforms and masks, making it impossible to identify them. The guards enforce strict discipline and don't hesitate to use excessive force whenever they feel it's necessary. Later, an inmate named Emil approaches Ray. He insists that he has committed no crime and claims he was brought there because powerful people wanted information from him. At that moment, Ray realizes something shocking. Most of the people inside this prison aren't actual criminals. Instead, wealthy and influential individuals secretly send their enemies here to keep them hidden and pressure them into revealing information. Determined to uncover more, Ray needs access to the prison's maximum security section. To get transferred there, he intentionally gets into a fight with Emil. As expected, both of them are locked inside special punishment cells that feel more like endurance chambers than ordinary prison cells. The temperature inside is extremely high, and the bright lights make it almost impossible to stay comfortable. Watching everything through the surveillance cameras, the warden appears completely entertained by their suffering. The following day, Dr. Kylie arrives to examine the inmates. She seems sympathetic toward Ray, but when he asks where the prison is located, she refuses to answer. Eventually, Ray and Emil are released from the punishment cells. Ray notices something important. important. The floor is made of steel, not aluminum. He asks Emil to secretly bring him a small piece of metal so they can remove the floor bolts and begin investigating what lies beneath. Later, Emil is taken in for another interrogation. The officials once again demand the information they want from him, but he refuses to cooperate. They continue putting heavy pressure on him, yet despite everything, Emil manages to secretly steal a small metal strip before returning, exactly the tool Ray needed for the next step of his escape plan. Later, Emil asks Ray about his escape plan. Ray explains that, based on his observations, the prison appears to be built underground. Even if they manage to remove the floor bolts and get below the cell, they would still need to find a way upward to reach the surface. After hearing Ray's detailed plan, Emil becomes convinced that Ray is the only person who has a real chance of getting everyone out. Following the plan, the two intentionally get into another fight, so they are sent back to the punishment cells. Once inside, Ray secretly begins removing the floor bolts while staying out of the camera's view. As soon as the opening is ready, he signals Emil to distract the guards. Emil starts shouting loudly, drawing everyone's attention toward him. Taking advantage of the distraction, Ray covers the surveillance camera with a piece of paper and climbs down beneath the floor. Unfortunately, he accidentally damages a water pipe, causing water to spread through the area. When Ray finally reaches the upper section, he makes a shocking discovery. The prison isn't built underground at all. It is actually located inside a gigantic ship floating in the middle of the ocean. Realizing the danger, Ray quietly returns to his cell before anyone notices. Meanwhile, outside, Abigail and Hush begin investigating Ray's disappearance. They soon discover that the payment Ray received for the mission has bounced, and Jessica has completely vanished without leaving any trace. They ask Lester to help find Ray, but Lester insists that Ray is simply doing his job and tells them not to worry. As soon as they leave, Lester secretly calls the prison's warden and orders him to make sure Ray never leaves the facility alive. This is when the truth comes out. Lester wants complete control of the company for himself. The entire mission was a setup designed to trap Ray inside the secret prison forever. However, Abigail and Hush refuse to give up. During their investigation, they uncover information about an illegal prison where wealthy people secretly imprison their enemies. The only problem is that nobody knows where this mysterious facility is located. Back inside the prison, Ray and Emil desperately need to figure out where they are. Ray once again asks Dr. Kylie for help, but she refuses. So Ray comes up with another idea. He secretly steals a mattress and uses its materials to build a homemade sextant, a navigation device that can estimate a ship's location using the sun. To use it properly, however, he needs access to the ship's upper deck. For that, Ray seeks help from an inmate named Javed. Javed approaches the warden and pretends that he wants to become an informant. In exchange, he requests permission to perform his daily prayers in the open air. The unsuspecting warden agrees. Once outside, Javed secretly uses Ray's homemade device to gather enough information for Ray to calculate the ship's position. After doing the calculations, Ray finally discovers that they are somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean near Morocco. Emil then reveals that he has a trusted friend living in Morocco. If they can somehow send him their location, he will definitely come with help. Ray once again meets Dr. Kylie, and this time he finally convinces her to help them. That night, Dr. Kylie secretly sends an email to Emil's friend with the ship's exact location. Finally, escape day arrives. Javed tricks the warden by falsely reporting that a major fight is about to break out in Block A. Believing the report, the warden sends nearly all the guards to that area, leaving only 2 guards near the punishment cells. Ray immediately takes advantage of the situation and starts another fight. Within moments, chaos spreads throughout the prison as inmates begin clashing with one another. Using the confusion as cover, Ray, Emil, and Javed head toward the ship's upper deck, but the warden quickly realizes what's happening and activates a full lockdown. Before they can reach the top, every security door automatically seals shut, forcing them to turn back. At the same time, Emil's friend arrives near the ship with a rescue team in a helicopter. Inside the prison, the guards and inmates are now engaged in a massive confrontation. During the chaos, Javed is seriously injured. Thinking quickly, Ray decides that the only way to reopen the security doors is by shutting down the ship's power. He asks Emil to stay with Javed while he heads toward the control room. Knowing he doesn't have much time left, Javed tells Emil to keep moving and not wait for him. With great difficulty, Emil leaves him behind and continues the escape. A short time later, the guards catch up to Javed, and he loses his life. Meanwhile, Ray successfully cuts the ship's power, reopening the upper security doors. Emil finally reaches the deck and runs toward the rescue helicopter. The guards continue trying to stop them, but Emil's friends hold their ground and wait for Ray to appear. Unfortunately, Ray becomes trapped inside one of the ship's flooded water tanks. With guards closing in from every direction, Ray has only one option. He forces open an emergency hatch and jumps straight into the ocean. From the helicopter, Emil spots Ray struggling in the water. He immediately throws down a rescue ladder. Ray climbs aboard safely, and moments later, he fires at the ship's fuel storage area. A huge explosion follows, destroying the prison ship. The corrupt warden and his remaining guards are eliminated, bringing an end to the secret facility. responsibility. Soon afterward, Ray and Emile safely reach the coast of Morocco. A car arrives to pick them up, and Jessica steps out. Ray is stunned because she is the same woman who recruited him for the mission. Then Emile reveals an even bigger surprise. Jessica is actually his daughter. Ray is left speechless. The truth is finally revealed. Emile had hidden his real identity for years to protect himself from powerful enemies. Jessica arranged the entire mission because she wanted Ray to rescue her father from the secret prison. She also exposes Lester's betrayal, explaining how he secretly worked with the prison's warden to trap Ray permanently. Later, Ray reunites with Abigail and Hush. They reveal that Lester had been promised control of the company if Ray failed to escape the prison. Meanwhile, after learning that Ray survived, Lester quickly packs his belongings and tries to disappear. However, Hush intercepts him on the way. When Lester finally wakes up, he finds himself locked inside a moving truck. Little does he know, the truck is loaded onto a massive cargo ship filled with shipping containers, and no one knows where that ship is heading.